ॐ शुक्लाम्भरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु, सहनौ भुनक्तु, सह वीर्यं करवावहै, तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तः शान्तः शान्तिः। अगजानन पद्मार्कं गजाननमहर्निशम् अनेकदन्तं भक्तानाम् एकदन्तमुपास्महे। श्रीमहागणपतये नमः। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। अस्मद्गुरुशरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां श्रीहयग्रीवमुपास्महे। श्रीहयग्रीवमूर्तये नमः। सरस्वति नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। श्रीमहासरस्वत्यै नमः। उमाकोमलहस्ताब्जसम्भावितललाटकम् हिरण्यकुण्डलं वन्दे कुमारं पुष्करस्वजं। வெற்றிவேல் முருகனுக்கு ஹர ஹரோஹரா. லோகவீரியம் மகாபூஜ்யம் சர்வரக்ஷாகரம் விபும் பார்வதி ஹிருதயானந்தம் சாஸ்தாரம் பிரணமாம்யகம். சுவாமியே சரணமையப்பா. वागर्ताविव सम्पृक्तौ वागर्त प्रतिपत्तये जगतः पितरौ वन्दे पार्वती परमेश्वरौ। श्रीपार्वती परमेश्वराभ्यां नमः। कोमलं पूजयन् वेणुं श्यामलोऽयं कुमारकः वेदवेद्यं परब्रह्मा तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अस्मद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। पीताम्बरं करविराजितचक्रशङ्खकौमोदकी सरसिजं करुणासमुद्रं राधासहायम् अपि सुन्दरमन्दहासं वातालयेशम् अनिशं हृदि भावयामि। कृष्णो रक्षतु मां चराचरगुरुः कृष्णं नमस्ये सदा। कृष्णेनैव सुरक्षितोऽहमसकृत् कृष्णाय दत्तं मनः। कृष्णादेव समुद्भवो मम विभो कृष्णस्य दासोऽस्म्यहम्। कृष्णे भक्तिरचञ्चलास्तु भगवन् हे कृष्ण तुभ्यं नमः। श्रीगुरुवायूरप्पा शरणं नम्राणां सन्निधत्ते सततमपि पुरस्तैरनभ्यर्थितानपि आर्तान् कामानजस्रं वितरति परमानन्दसान्द्रां गतिं च। इत्थं निःशेषलभ्यो निरवधिकफलः पारिजातो हरे त्वं क्षुद्रं तं शक्रवाटी ध्रुममभिलषति व्यर्थमर्त्यव्रजोऽयम्। श्रीगुरुवायूरप्पा शरणं श्रीभट्टपादम् अनिशं हृदि भावयामि। वंशी विभूषितकरात् नवनीरदाभात् पीताम्बरात् अरुणबिम्बफलादरोष्टात् पूर्णेन्दुसुन्दरमुखात् अरविन्दनेत्रात् कृष्णात् परं किमपि तत्त्वमहं न जाने। കൈരണ്ടും കൂപ്പി ഞാൻ വീണ്ടുമീറക്കുന്നു നീരജലോചന നിന്നോടായി. ഏതീനു മഞ്ഞാനെ കുമ്പിടേണ്ടാത്തോരു പ്രീതിയിൽ നീ എന്നെ പാലിക്കെന്നായി. കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ. Good morning, everyone. Okay, so we'll do a review of 34. BVG, you can do one half, and Madhu, you can do one half.
Sure, Rajesh. Shri Krishnaya Parabrahmane Namaha. Shri Ramacharita Varnanam Dasakam 34. Girva Nairatyamano Dashamukha Nidanam Koshaleshvrishya Shringe Putriyam Ishtimishtva Dadushi Dasharatha Kshma Brute Payasagryam तद्भुक्त्या तत्पुरन्द्रीष्वपि तिसृषु शमं जात गर्भाशु जातो रामस्त्वं लक्ष्मणेन स्वयमत भरतेनापि शत्रुघ्ननाम्ना कोदण्डी कौशिकस्य क्रतुवरमवितुं लक्ष्मणिनानुयातो यातो भूस्तात वाचा मुनिकथितमनुद्वन्द्वसान्ताद्वकेदः नृणां त्राणाय बाणैर्हि मुनिवचनबलाताटकां पाटयित्वा लब्ध्वास्माद् अस्त्रजालं मुनिवनमगमो देवसिद्धाश्रमाख्यं मारीचं द्रावयित्वा मकशिरसि सरैः अन्यरक्षांसि निघ्नन् कल्यां कुर्वन्न हल्यां पतिपदरजसा प्राप्य वैदेहगेहम् बिन्दानश्चन्द्रचूडं धनुः अवनिसुतामिन्दिरामेव लब्ध्वा राज्यं प्रातिष्ठतस्त्वां त्रिभिरपि च समं भ्रातृवीरैः सदारैः.
The fourth line, in the second word mattum, pratishtathastvam. Rajyam pratishtathastvam.
Sorry. Rajyam pratishtathastvam त्रिभिरपि च समं भ्रातृवीरैः सदारैः आरुन्दाने रुषान्दे भृगुकलतिलके संक्रमय्य स्वतेजो याते यातोऽस्य योध्यां सुखमिह निवसन् कान्तया कान्तमूर्ते शत्रुघ्नेनैकधातो गतवति भरते मातुलस्या दिवासम् तातारब्धोऽभिषेकः तव किल विहतः केकयाधीशपुत्र्या तातोक्त्या यातु कामो वनम् अनुजवधु संयुतश्चापदारः पौरानारुध्य मार्गे गुहनिलय गतः त्वं जटाचीरधारी नावासन्तीर्य गङ्गाम् अधिपदवि पुनस्तं भरद्वाजमारात् नत्वा तद्वाक्य हेतोः अतिसुखमवसच्चित्रकूटे गिरीन्द्रे.
I'm going to try because I didn't practice too much. There's one question on the second verse, the last one. In my book, it is Muni Vana Gamano.
Muni Vanam Agamo, it will be.
Muni Vanam.
Which stanza is that? Second
Agamo.
one?
Yes.
Yeah, Agamo, yeah.
So Muni Vanam Agamo.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you can do next class maybe if you haven't practiced. I can have somebody else do it. No worries.
Oh, thanks.
Okay. Harini, நீங்க பண்றீங்களா?
Tune எடுத்து கொடுங்களேன், sorry.
श्रुत्वा पुत्रार्तिखिन्नं खलु
श्रुत्वा पुत्रार्तिखिन्नं खलु भरतमुखात् स्वर्गयातं स्वतातं तप्तो दत्त्वाम्बुतस्मै निदधित भरते पादुकां मोदिनीं च अत्रिं नत्वात गत्वा वनमति विपुलं दण्डकं चण्डकायं हत्वा दैत्यं विराधं सुगतिमकलयश्चारुभोश्चारभङ्गीम्.
The second line mattum one word Medinim. Okay, நீங்க மோதினி you said it's Medinim.
मेदिनीं च नत्वागस्त्यं समस्ताशरनिखर सपत्राकृतिं तापसेभ्यः प्रत्यश्रोषि प्रियैषी तदनु च मुनिना वैष्णवे दिव्यचापे ब्रह्मास्त्रे चापि दत्ते पतिपितृसुहृदं वीक्ष्य भूयो जटायुं मोदाद्गोदातटान्ते परिरमसि पुरा पञ्चवट्यां वधूट्या प्राप्तायाः शूर्पणख्याः मदनचलधृते रत्नैर्निस्सहात्मा तां सौमित्रौ विसृज्य प्रबलतमरुषा तेन निर्लूननासां दृष्ट्वा वैनामृष्टचित्तं खरमभित्थाय पतितं दूषणं च त्रिमूर्धं व्याहिंसीरशरानप्ययुतसमधिखान् तत्क्षणादक्षतोष्मा.
Third line, first word, drisht, drishtvainam. It's just a it. Okay. I think நீங்க drishtvainam.
दृष्ट्वैनां दृष्ट्वैनां दृष्टचित्तम्. ओके. सोदर्या प्रोक्तवार्ता सोदर्या प्रोक्तवार्ता विवशदशमुखादिष्टमारीचमाया सारङ्गं सारसाक्षा स्पृहितमनुगतः प्रावदीर्बाणघातम् तन्मायाक्रन्दनिर्यापितभवदनुजां रावणस्तामहर्षीत् तेनार्तोऽपि त्वमन्तः किमपि मधुमदाः त्वद्वदोपायलाभात्.
And the fourth line, Harni, kimapi mudamadaha.
मुदमदाः किमपि मुदमदाः. भूयस्तन्वीं विचिन्वन् अहृतदशमुखः त्वद्वधूं मद्वदेनेन त्वयुक्ता याते जटायो दिवम् अत सहृदः प्रातनोः प्रेतकार्यं गृह्णानं तं कबन्धं जगनित शबरीं प्रेक्ष्य पम्पातटे त्वं सम्प्राप्तो वातसूनं वृषमुदितमनाः पाहि वातालयेश. श्रीकृष्णाय परब्रह्मणे नमः.
First line, just on the first line and end and the beginning of the second line. Twadvadhum madvadene tyuktva.
Denena ilya.
There is no extra na there. Madvadene tyuktva.
Okay. புக்ல தேனேனன்னு போட்டிருக்கு. ஓகே. தேனே த்வயுக்தா.
No.
த்வயுக்த்வா.
Tyuktva. That is like Tyu, tyuktva.
Tyuktva. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Okay, so we'll continue from the third stanza. So let me see who had for Amruta, you can join for the first till 7:45, right? I think you said you had to drop at 8 or something. So you can be a student, right?
I can join for that.
Okay.
Rajeshji, one more time, can you say that?
Twadvadum madvadene tyuktva. Okay, in case your books has like iti uktva or something, it's just a sandhi joining thing. Iti uktva, if you have it, two different words. Iti and
and also denena ityuktvan kuduthirukku.
So I think like Harini, you have an extra na, so you can remove that na. And then iti and uktva becomes tyuktva. It's just a sandhi, so that's it. Okay, Jyoti Chandranji, you can be a student, and Amruta, you can be a student. Okay, so start from stanza 3. Twadvarta karnanodyat garudurujab sampati vakya protirnarnodihi antarnagari janakajam vikshya datvangulhiyam prakshudhyodhyanam akshakshapana chanaranah sodhabando dashasyam drishtva प्लुष्ट्वा च लंकां झटिति स हनुमान् मौलिरत्नं ददौते. This is kind of the entire Sundarakandam is condensed into one stanza, right? So much happening here. But anyway, so last stanza we saw how, finally all the monkeys, they all go search in different direction, right? Marge, mamarge. They go all over the world looking, right? I mean, different directions they go looking. So one such batch, right, which had Hanuman and Valis and Angada, all of them, they start going south. And when they go south, they reach a particular place where they're all tired, they're not able to find where Sita is, because Jatayu just told them directionally he went this way. And so they were just all, at one point they were sitting on the top of a mountain and tired. So at that time, another vulture called Sampati comes there. And that Sampati, he's not able to fly. So, but the Sampati as a vulture, his wings were kind of burnt. So, he comes and looks at this whole bunch of monkeys. tired. So he's, kind of thinking it is good for me because I have fresh meat available. These monkeys, were all tired. So when he's kind of thinking like this, so Jambavan at that time realizes and he says, what kind of a vulture are you? There is another person, Jatayu, who was so amazing. He was trying to help us. You, on the other hand, is thinking of eating us, right? When we are in such a state of despair. So when the moment he hears the word Jatayu, Sampati says, how do you know Jatayu? So at that time, then the Jambavan and tells the whole story of how Rama is there, Sita got abducted by Ravana, and then Jatayu helped save him and all of that stuff. So Sampati says Jatayu is like my brother. In fact, when they were small, he tried to save Jatayu from getting burned. That's how Sampati's wings got burnt. That's why he's not able to fly. So he is very sorry to hear about Jatayu having passed away. So Sampati is able to see where Sita is. He says, I know Ravana took and he's gone to Lanka. So he is the one who's actually telling these Hanuman and everybody that Sita is now in Lanka. So now then they put the plan, right? Hanuman is who's going to go and Hanuman decides to go. Hanuman then flies over there, all that story. So he reaches Lanka, he then finds Sita, then, he gets arrested by Ravana. And then he kills one of Ravana's son there. And then, Brahmastra is put on him. So Hanuman then surrenders to it, is brought to Ravana's court. He burns Lanka. He then gets that Chudamani from Sita and then he comes back to Rama, right? So the whole thing is just this in one stanza, right? Anyway, you know that. But the context of the video I sent you was when Bhatripad was writing this, he was kind of writing and saying that Plushtvacha Lankam, so having burnt Lanka, very quickly Jhatitsa Hanuman, Mauli Ratnam, the ring that Sita gave as an indication, as a sign, he has to come and give it to Rama. So so Bhatripad is writing as Mauli Ratnam Dhado to Rama, to give it to Rama. But then the chandas was not landing because in Sanskrit, when you write these sentences, it has to meet a certain meter, right? A chandas has to be met. But inserting the word Rama there was not fitting into the chandas. So, but because he had already written the rest of the sentences, he was contemplating of how do I put this word Rama in there? Because once they write it, they don't want to go back and erase a sentence. They don't want to go back and erase what they've already written. So as he was contemplating on how do I put the word Rama there, so at that time, he had a vision of Guru Arpan who came in the form of Rama. So that's why he's coming and saying, because he's writing in first person, he says, Jhatitesa Hanuman Mauli Ratnam Dhadaute. He says, he came and gave the Ratnam to you, O Guru Ayappa. Right? So that is the context of the te which is coming there, saying that it's whether Rama or Guru Arapa, it's the same. It is just you who came in the form of Rama. So he just came and gave it to you. So that's why that video was relevant, in the meaning of that letter, the last letter which is coming there. Anyway, so Twadvarta Karna Nodyat, one word, Garuduru Javar Sampati Vakya. So that whole line is continuous. Then you put a plus at the end of that line. Protirnar Nodihi. That's also one word. Protirnar Nodihi. So the ra that is there, we'll remove it. Put a visarga comma. Protirnar Nodihi comma. Next word will start with the a. Antar Nagari Janakajam Vikshya Datvanguliyam. Twadvarta karnanodyat garudurujava sampati vakya protirnarno dihit antarnagari janakajam vikshya datvanguliyam.
Tadvar. Oh, sorry.
sorry.
No, go ahead, Amudaji. Go ahead.
Okay. Tvatvarta karnanotyat karuturu java sambadi vakya protirnar nodihi andar nagari janagajam vikshya tatvanguliyam.
Two times. Oh, Amtaji, two times.
त्वद्वार्ता कर्णनोत्यत् करुतुर्जव सम्बादि सम्बादि वाक्य प्रोत्तीर्णनोद्दिः अन्तर्नगरि जनकजां वीक्ष्य तत्त्वाङ्गुलीयम्
त्वद्वार्ता कर्णनोद्यत् गरुदुरुजव सम्पादि सम्पादि वाक्य प्रोत्तीर्णार्नोदिः अन्तर्नगरि जनकजां वीक्ष्य दत्त्वाङ्गुलीयम् तद्वार्ता कर्णनोद्यत् गरुदुरुजव सम्पादि सम्पादि वाक्य प्रोत्तीर्णार्नोदिः अन्तर्नगरि जनकजां वीक्ष्य दत्त्वाङ्गुलीयम्.
Prakshudhyodhyanam, we'll break at that im, comma. Next word will start with the a. Aksha kshapana chanaranaha, comma. So Aksha is like Akasha Kumara, one of the sons of Ravana. So that's why the Aksha kshapana chanaranaha, comma. Sodha bhando dashasyam drishtva. So put a plus and then after drishtva you put a comma. Plushtva cha lankam jhatiti sa Hanuman Mauliratnam dadaute.
Rajesh, sorry to disturb. அந்த அக்ஷரப்பன ஒரு வாட்டி சொல்லுங்க.
அக்ஷக்ஷபண சன ரணஹ.
அக்ஷக்ஷபண சன ரணஹ. Okay.
Yeah, சன ரணஹ.
Okay, thank you.
பிரக்ஷுத்யோத்யானம் அக்ஷக்ஷபண சன ரணஹ சோடபந்தோ தசாஸ்யம் திருஷ்ட்வா प्लुष्ट्वा च लङ्कां झटिति स हनुमान् मौलिरत्नं ददौ ते.
प्रक्षुत्योद्यानम् अक्षक्षपन चनरनः सोडो बन्धोद शास्यं दृष्ट्वा प्लिष्ट्वा च लङ्कां झटिति स हनुमान् मौलिरत्नं ददौ ते. प्रक्षुत्योद्यानम् अक्षक्षपनचनरनः षोडो बन्धोद शास्यं दृष्ट्वा प्लुष्ट्वा च लङ्कां झटिति स हनुमान् मौलिरत्नं ददौ ते.
The third line, Sodha Bandho.
Soda.
Yeah, Sodha. I think you said do. Sodo, you said Sodha Bandho.
Soda Bandho Dashasyam Drishtva.
प्रक्षुद्योद्यानम् अच्छच्चपनचनरणः सोढबन्धो दशास्यं दृष्ट्वा प्लुष्ट्वा च लङ्कां झटिति स हनुमान् मौलिरत्नं ददौ ते. प्रक्षुद्योद्यानम् अच्छच्चपनचनरणः सोढबन्धो दशास्यं दृष्ट्वा प्लुष्ट्वा च लङ्कां झटिति स हनुमान् मौलिरत्नं ददौ ते.
त्वं सुग्रीवाङ्गदादि प्रबलकपिचमू चक्रविक्रान्तभूमि चक्रोभिक्रम्य पारे जलधि निशिचरेन्द्रानुजाश्रीयमानः तत्प्रोक्तां शत्रुवार्तां रहसि निशमयन् प्रार्थना पार्थ्यरोष प्रास्ताग्नेयास्त्रतेजः त्रसधुदधि गिरा लब्धवान् मध्यमार्गम्. So now they're getting ready. Say they're getting ready to go to Lanka. So they all know Sugriva, Angada, everybody who's there, the entire army is now reaching the banks of the ocean, Indian Ocean, right? They come to the Rameshwaram area. So there, that's when they are seeing Vibhishana coming over, right? So Vibhishana is crossing over and coming to the camp, and Rama lets him in, right? And then everybody says, why are you taking a person from the enemy into the camp? So Rama says, anybody who is coming as surrendering to me, even if Ravana comes, I'm going to forgive him and take him, right? So anyway, so Rama then accepts Vibhishana into it, and Vibhishana discloses all the secrets of Ravana and everybody, all the things they are capable of, what all they have and everything. So with that, eventually once Vibhishana reveals all that secret, then you are all getting ready to cross right now. So, and then that's when Rama is now here. It is saying that, where is the word coming? Anyway, here is where they're building the bridge also. They kind of know Rama then commands the ocean to part, and then so they're able to build the bridge and then get across. Pare jalati at the shore, they're there. Okay. Tvam Sugrivangadadi Prabala Kapi Chamu Chakra Vikranta Bhumi, long E. So you can break each of these words. Sugrivangadadi Prabala Kapi Chamu Chakra Vikranta Bhumi, put a plus, Chakrobhikramya, and then a comma. So the first line is continuous, and then Chakrobhikramya, comma. Pare Jaladi Nishicharendranuja Shriyamanaha. So that word is one word. Nishicharendranuja Shriyamanaha. Tvam Sugrivangadade Prabalakapichamu Chakravikranta Bhumi Chakrobhikramya Pare Jaladi Nishicharendranuja Shriyamanaha. Mamata, you're on mute. Oh, no, you're still on mute.
Sorry. Tvam Sugrivangadadi Prabalakabijamo Chakravikranta Bhumi Chakrobhikramya Pare Jaladi Nishicharendranuja Shriyamanaha. Tvam Sugrivangadadi Prabalakabijamu Chakravikranta Bhumi Chakrobhikramya Pare Jaladi Nishicharendranuja Shriyamanaha.
Tvam Sugrivangadadi Prabalakapi Chamo Chakravikranta Bhumi Chakrobhikramya Pare Jaladhi Nishicharendranuja Shriyamanaha. Tvam Sugrivangadadi Prabalakapi Chamo Chakravikranta Bhumi Chakrobhikramya Pare Jaladhi Nishicharendranuja Shriyamanaha.
Tat proktam Shatruvartam Rahasi Nishamayan, comma, Prarthana Partya Rosha, again put a plus, Prastagneyastra Tejaha. So that is coming, put a visarga, comma, Tejaha, comma, Trasa Dudadhi Gira Labdavan Madhyamargam. So one comma after Nishamayan, then the line continuously, and then Tejaha, comma there. Tat proktam Shatruvartam Rahasi Nishamayan Prarthana Partya Rosha Prastagneyastra Tejaha Trasadudadhigira Labdhavan Madhyamargam.
Tat proktam Shatruvartam Ragasi Nishamayan Prarthana Partyarosha Prastagneyastaratejaha Trashatudadikira Laptavan Madhyamargam. Tat proktam Shatruvartam Ragasi Nishamayan Prarthana Partyarosha Prastagneyastra Tejaha Trasatudidikira Laptavan Madhyamargam.
Talproktam Shatruvartam Rahasi Nishamayan Prarthana Parthyarosha Prastagneyastra Tejaha Trasadudadhigira Labdhavan Madhyamargam. Talproktam Shatruvartam Rahasi Nishamayan Prarthana Parthyarosha Prastagneyastra Tejaha तत्र सदुदधिगिरा लब्धवान् मध्यमार्गम्.
That's fine. ईशैराशान्तरूपाहृतगिरिनिकरैः सेतुमाधाप्य यातो यातून्यामर्द्य दंष्ट्रा नखशिखरिशिला सालशस्त्रैः स्वसैन्यैः व्याकुर्वन् सानुजस्त्वं समरभुवि परं विक्रमं शक्रचेत्रा वेगान्नागास्त्रबद्धः पतगपतिगरुन्मारुतैर्मोचितो भूः. So anyway, so here is where Setum Adapya Yato, here is where they're building the bridge and they're going. And the monkeys, they're all carrying multiple things. So Dhamshtra, what they're having as weapons, Dhamshtra is referring to teeth. Of course, monkeys use their teeth as a weapon, right? Then their claws, Nakha. Then Shikari is referring to mountains or small, like, you can think of large stones, right, that are there. And salas, so rocks and whatever they have in their hand, tree branches, they're carrying all of these as weapons, right, to kind of cross over. Then eventually they go there. So there they first go and have to battle with Indrajit, right? And his name, the reason his name became Indrajit was once there was a battle between Indra and Ravana. So at that time, Ravana's son, before his name was called Indrajit, he went and he captured Indra itself. He was so powerful and strong that he went and captured Indra to release Ravana. So at that time, Brahma himself had to come and tell, Indra is the lord of the gods. So you can't capture him. He's one of the big demigods. So he releases Indra. So that's how Indrajit becomes very powerful. So the one who has conquered Indra is called Indrajit, right? So anyway, so he's very powerful. So when the initial battle that happens, first Indrajit is then sending a Nagastra, which then ties off Rama and Lakshmana. So at that time, anytime there is a Naga weapon involved in there, Garuda is the anti-Naga weapon, right? So at that time, with the help of Garuda's blessings, Garuda is coming and shielding you both, right? And then protecting both Rama and Lakshmana. So anyway, the battle is going on there. That's some information of the battle there. Kishair Ashantaropahrita. If you want to break at that ra, you can. If you want to. Kishair Ashantaropahrita Giri Nikaraihi, Setum Adhapya Yato, Yatunyam Mardya, Damshtra Nakha Shikari Shila Sala Shastraihi. Put a is Shastrais Swasainyaihi. So you can break each of these words clearly. Damshtra Nakha Shikari Shila Sala Shastrais Swasainyaihi. Kishairashantaropahritagirinikareihi setumadhapya yato yatunyamardya damshtra nakashikarishila sala shastrais swasainyaihi.
Kishair Ashantaro Pahurda Kirinigarai Sedumadapya Yado Yadunya Martya Damshtra Naga Shigaris Shila Salasastrai Swasanyai.
So that second line, second half of it. Sala Shastrais Swasainyaihi.
Swasainyai. Salasastrais Swasainyai.
You are saying Sala, just Sala.
Salasastrais Swasainyai.
Yeah.
Rajesh ji, ஒரு question, sorry. Sala Shastraish Swasai. அப்படி வரணுமா? Yes. Okay.
Yes. So the Shastra is referring to weapons. So Shastraihi, one word அது. And then because the Visarga is coming, you put a is to join there. Shastrais. Swasainyaihi. That's a completely separate word. So if you are
Yeah, because என்னோட bookல Shastraihi Swasanyaihi அப்படி கொடுத்திருக்கு.
அந்த Visargaக்கு பதிலா is. So Shastrais Swasainyaihi.
ஒரு அடிஷன் கூட இந்திரஜித்தோட ஒரிஜினல் நேம் இஸ் மேகநாத்.
Meghana, yeah, correct. Yeah, that's right.
சைனீஸ் மாதிரி இருக்கு லாஸ்ட் லைன்.
स्वशैन्ये कीशैर् आशान्तरोपाहृत गिरिनिगरै सेतुमादाप्य यादोन्यामर्त्य दंष्ट्रानग शिखरिशिला सालाशस्त्रैः स्वशन्यैः
Sainyaihi, last.
सैन्यैः स्वसैन्यैः
कीशैराशान्तरोपाहृतगिरिनिकरैः सेतुमाथाप्ययादो यातून्यामर्द्य दंष्ट्रानखशिखरिशिलासालशस्त्रैः स्वसैन्यैः कीशैराशान्तरोपाहृतगिरिनिकरैः सेतुमाथाप्ययादो यातून्यामर्द्य दंष्ट्रानखशिखरिशिलासालशस्त्रैः स्वसैन्यैः
Vyakurvan sanujastvam, samara bhuvi param vikramam shakrajetra, vegan nagastra, double na, vegan nagastra baddaha, pata gapati garun marutair mochito bhuhu. Vyakurvan sanujastvam समरभुवि परं विक्रमं शक्रजेत्रा वेगान्नागास्त्रबद्धः पतगपति गरुन्मारुतैर्मोचितो भूः.
இந்த லாஸ்ட் லைன் வந்து பதகன்னு சொல்லலாம் இல்லையா ராஜேஷ்? பதக ருன்
Patagapati is one word. Patagapati.
Okay.
Okay, that is Garuda there. Yeah. Patagapati Garun.
व्याकुर्वन् सानुजस्त्वं समरभुवि परं विक्रमं शक्रक्षेत्रा वेगान्नागास्त्रबद्धः पदकपति करुन्मारुतैर्मोचितो भूः. व्याकुर्वन् सानुजस्त्वं समरभुवि परं विक्रम शक्रक्षेत्रा वेगान्नागास्त्रबद्धः पदकपति करुन्मारुतैर्मोचितो भूः.
व्याकुर्वन् सानुजस्त्वं समरभुवि परं विक्रमं शक्रजेत्रा वेगान्नागास्त्रबन्धः पदगपति गरुन्मारुतैर्मोचितो भूः.
That fourth line, there's no in bad, it's just baddaha. Nagastra baddaha.
Oh, sorry, badda. Yeah, badda. I asked. Vyakurvan sanujastvam समरभुवि परं विक्रमं शक्रजेत्रा वेगान्नागास्त्रबद्धः पदगपति गरुन्मारुतैर्मोचितो भूः.
सौमित्रिस्त्वत्र शक्ति प्रहृति गलद सुर्वात जानीत शैलघ्राणात् प्राणानुपेतो व्यकृणुत कुसृत श्लाघिनं मेघनादं मायाक्षोभेषु वैभीषण वचन हृतस्तम्भनः कुम्भकर्णं सम्प्राप्तं कंपितोर्वीतलमखिल चमू भक्षिणं व्यक्षिणोस्त्वम्. Again, multiple things happening here. So one is, the second day at that time, once in the previous one where Lakshmana and Rama were rescued by the wings of Garuda from the Nagastra. So the next day, what happens is then the Shakti, another missile is put towards Lakshmana, which bounds him, because of which, he has to fall. That's when Hanuman is then going and getting the Sanjeevani mountain and coming and rescuing Lakshmana. So that is embedded here. Then the next one is Indrajit, then he gets very worried, saying that every time I'm putting something, both of these brothers seem to be escaping somehow. So he then decides to do a yajna, and he takes a vow saying that, by next day I'm going to get rid of Lakshmana, else he's going to give up his life. So at that time, there's a whole backstory, right, about how when he does that, who can get rid of him, right? The person who can get rid of Indrajit needs to have some criteria of he should not have slept for so many days, he should have done all these things. So anyway, Lakshmana meets all those requirements, and Lakshmana then gets rid of Indrajit. Then Kumbhakarna is coming, right? Kumbhakarna is in Kampitor Vitalam Akila Chamu Bhakshinam. So when Kumbhakarna comes, he is able to just get rid of the entire, almost a huge amount of the monkey army he's able to get rid of. But finally, you Rama, you are able to get rid of Kumbhakarna also. And then Ravana comes. Ravana, they do kind of lot of this illusion. And this illusion thing is going to happen even in Krishna Avataram when Krishna battles with Salva. So they kind of bring one of your relative, right? In this case, he brings Sita. In Krishna Avataram, he'll bring Devaki. So he'll bring Sita as if trying to chop Sita's head here. But then Vibhishana is there as support, telling that this is all illusion. Don't worry about it. Ravana will not do all this. Anyway, with all this battle going on, eventually Kumbhakarna is gotten rid of. Remember, Kumbhakarna and Ravana are the Jaya Vijaya reborn, right? So they were Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu. Here it's Kumbhakarna and Ravana. Saumitristwatra Shakti Prakriti Galada Sur Vata Janita Shaila. So that whole line together, put a plus. Granat Prananupeto, then a comma. So the whole first line, and then after Prananupeto, comma. Vyakrunuta Kusritish Laghinam Meghanadam. Saumitristwatra Shakti Prakriti Galada Survata Janita Shaila Granat Prananupeto Vyakrunuta Kusrutish Laghinam Meghanadam.
Saumitris Tvatra Shakti Prakriti Kaladasur Vadaja Nida Shaila Granat Prananupedo Vyakranada Kushrutis Lagina Meghanadam.
Second line, and after the comma, Yakrunuta.
Ekrunuda.
Yeah.
Ekrunuda. Saumitris Tvatra Shakti Prakriti Kaladasur Vadaja Nita Shaila Granat Prananupedo Ekrunuda Kusrutis Laginam Meghanadam.
Rajesh, sorry, one question. So, Kalada Survadava, Kalada Su Vadaja. Abdiya.
Vataja, because Vataja is referring to Hanuman. So Galada Sur Vatajanita. The Hanuman bringing the Shaila, the mountain.
Rajesh ji, is it Vyakrunuta or
Yeah,
Vyakrunuta? Okay, Vyakrunuta.
Okay.
Saumitristotra Shakti Prakriti Galada Survatan Janita Shaila Granat Prananupeto Vyakrunuta Kusradish Lakhinam Meghanadam. Saumitristotra Shakti Prakriti Galada Survata Janita Shaila Granat Prananupeto Vyakrunuta Kusradish Lakhinam Meghanadam.
Mayakshobheshu, comma, Vaibhishana, Vachana, Hrita, Stambanaha. Is there? Put a H to join that. Stambanah. Kumbhakarnam, and then put a plus, Sampraptam, and then put a comma. So Kumbhakarnam Sampraptam, comma. Kampitor Vithalam. That's one word. Kampitor Vithalam. Akhila Chamu Bhakshinam Vyakshinostvam. The right way to say it and land, or also land properly. Maya kshobheshu Vaibhishana vachana hrita stambanah kumbhakarnam sampraptam Kampitorvitalam akhila chamu bhakshinam vyakshinostum.
मायाक्षोपेषु वैभीषणवजनहृदस्तम्भनकुम्भकर्णं सम्प्राप्तं कंपितोर्वीतलम् अखिलचमुभक्षिणं वेक्षिणोस्त्वं मायाक्षोभेषु वैभीषणवचनहृदस्तम्भनकुम्भकर्णं सम्प्राप्तं कंपितोर्वीतलम् अखिलचमुभक्षिणं वेक्षिणोस्त्वम्
मायाच्छोभेषु वैभीषणवजनहृदस्तम्भन कुम्भकर्णं सम्प्राप्तं कम्पितोर्वीतलमखिलचुमो भक्षिणं वेक्षिणोस्त्वं मायाच्छोभेषु वैभीषणवजनहृदस्तम्भन कुम्भकर्णं सम्प्राप्तं कम्पितोर्वीतलमखिलचुमो भक्षिणं वेक्षिणोस्त्वम्.
Stanza 7. Grinhan jambhari sampreshita rata kavachau Ravanenabhiyudhyanhe Brahmastrenasya bindan galatatim Abhalam agnishuddham pragrinhan Devashrehi varo jivita samaramritaihi Akshatai riksha sanghaihi Lanka bhartra cha sakam Nijanagaramagaha Sapriyah pushpakena. He is on the final battle happening with Ravana. So, initially Rama is getting rid of all of Ravana's heads, but then, they always used to come back again, and then he's not able to get rid of it. So eventually, Indra has to come down and give some weapons and all these equipments to Rama to even battle with Ravana, because that's how powerful Ravana is. But we'll see a little bit in the next Parashuram Avataram. I'll sell some comparisons at that time. So anyway, so Rama then finally uses the Brahmastra and then gets rid of Ravana. So it talks whole bunch of things. You get rid of Ravana, and then Hanuman goes, informs Sita that the war is over. Then Sita then has to purify herself with fire. You all know that story. And then you come back in the Pushpaka Vimana. Rama, everybody comes back to Ayodhya, and then you establish Vibhishana. Vibhishana also wants to come with Rama, but Rama says, no, Vibhishana, you be the king of Lanka, makes him the king of Lanka, and they all return back. Grinnan Jambari Sampreshita Rata Kavachau, Ravanenabhiyudhyan, Brahmastrenasya Bhindan Galatatim. So you can put a im there and break it there, Galatatim, which is getting rid of Ravana, Next word starts with the A. Abhalam Agni Shuddham Pragrihnan. This is Sita purifying herself with fire. That's the second after the comma. Grinhan Jambhari Sampreshita Rata Kavachau Ravanenabhiyudhyan Brahmastrenasya Bhindan Galatatim Abhalam Agni Shuddham Pragrihnan. Just say one time, okay, Amutaji.
Grinnan Jambari Sampreshita Radakavachau Ravanenabhiyudhyan Brahmastrenasya Pindan Kaladadim Apalam Agnishuddham Pragrihnan.
And the ha, sometimes it becomes silent, or you can say pragrinnan, like how she said, or pragrihnan. Both are okay. Okay, so either of those is the right way to say it.
Grinnan Jambhari Sampreshita Rata Kavachau Ravanenabhiyudhyan ब्रह्मास्त्रेणास्य भिन्दन् गलततिम् अबलामग्निशुद्धां प्रगृह्णन्
देव श्रेणी बरोज जीवित samara mritaihi. So the r that is coming there, which is breaking it. Samara mritaihi visarga comma. Next word will start with the a. Akshatair riksha sanghaihi. Another visarga and comma at the end of that line. Riksha sanghaihi. Next line on top of the la, if there is a ir, that will go away. Lanka bhartra cha sakam nija nagaramagaha, comma. Sa priyaha, put a F to join. Sa priya pushpakena. देवश्रेणी वरोज्जीवित समरमृतैः अक्षतैर्ऋक्षसङ्घैः लङ्का भर्त्रा च साकं निजनगरमगाः सप्रियः पुष्पकेन.
देवै श्रेणी वरो जीवित समरमृतैः क्षतैर्ऋक्षसङ्गैः लङ्गा पर्त्रा च सागं निजनगरम् अगाह सप्रिय पुष्पकेन. सप्रिय पुष्पकेन.
Third line, sanghaihi, there's a visarga there, okay?
Sanghaihi, okay. Akshadai-riksha-sanghaihi.
देवश्रेणीवरो जीवितसमरमृतैः अक्षतैर्क्षसङ्गैः लङ्का भर्त्रा च सागं निजनगरमगाः सप्रियः पुष्पकेन.
Wow, Bhattacharya finished in 3 shlokas, crossing the ocean until Sita. Fire thing. Oh my God.
No, I'm just saying this. It's very difficult to, explain because, like Ramayana, you can get into any level of detail, right? Krishna Avataram, the advantage is he'll say step by step everything, right? Nothing, there's no shortcut in Krishna Avataram. But Rama Avataram, the entire Ramayana is like 1 lakh some slokas, right? Condensed, it's very difficult. So I'm just rushing through it, right? Okay, let's see, go ahead. Lakshmi Kamalaji, you can be student, and Shailaja Praveen, you can be student. Stanza 8. Prito divyabhishekaihi ayuta samadhikan vatsaran paryaramsihi maitilyam papavacha shiva shiva kilatam garbhinim abhyahasihi shatrughne nardayitva lavana nishicharam prardaya shudrapasham tavat valmiki gehe kritavasati rupa suta sita sutaute. So the coronation of Rama is happening. So, Pattabhishekam happening, and then Rama is ruling happily. So at the time, then he hears about the scandalous news about Sita from the washerman, and then Rama abandons her, even though she's pregnant. And then, then eventually she goes to the Valmiki's ashramam, and then she gives birth to 2 children, Sutaute, the Sita Sutaute, giving birth to 2 children, Lava and Kusha. So that's summarized here. So this washerman is going to come back again in Dwapara Yugam in Dasakam 74. So we will see it at that time. What happens to this washerman who comes in Rama Avataram?
ராஜேஷ்ணி அப்ப அந்த தே அவர் அதுக்கப்புறம் திருப்பி அப்படியே யூஸ் பண்ணிருக்காரு. உனக்கு கொடுத்தாரு.
ஆமா, exactly, yeah. Prito divyabhishekaihi. So the ra that is there, you remove it, put visarga and comma, shekaihi, comma. Next word starts with the a. Ayuta samadhikan vatsaran paryaramsihi, visarga comma, paryaramsihi. Next line, maitilyam, there is a ir in Sanskrit that will go away. Maitilyam papavacha, comma, shiva shiva kilatam garbhinim abhyahasihi. You can break it that ma. The shiva shiva he is saying, but if I say, oh, what a pity, like shiva shiva we say, right? It's a very unfortunate. That's the reference here. Prito divyabhishekaihi ayuta samadhikan vatsaran paryaramsihi मैथिल्यां पापवाचा शिव शिव किल तां गर्भिणीम् अभ्यहासीः
प्रीतो दिव्याभिषेकैः अयुतसमधिकान् वत्सरान् पर्यरंसीः मैथिल्यां पापवाचां शिव शिव किल तां गर्भिणीमभ्यहासीः प्रीतो दिव्याभिषेकैः अयुतसमधिकान् वत्सरान् पर्यरंसीः मैथिल्यां पापवाचां शिव शिव किल तां गर्भिणीमभ्यहासीः
Rajesh, or question, just curiosity, out of curiosity, Bhattatri is writing this, right? So he could have said Rama Rama. Why did he say Shiva Shiva?
I know, that's right, because Rama is doing this, right? Another Shiva refer pandar. But generally we say, I think that Shiva Shiva is generally used on the Mari, right? Or Shiva Shiva, like, I don't know why, but, I think.
I mean, yeah, the Vaishnavites always use Rama Rama. I haven't heard Vaishnavites say Shiva Shiva at all.
Something was not a Vaishnavite either, though. However, like, what I mean? Like, but I had a good point, I think, like, I'm always using Shiva Shiva, we are used to saying, but I don't know why he said that.
They are saying there is no difference between Rama and Shiva.
I think when to this point, because Rama, he's saying, unfortunately, Rama, you abandoned Sita. That's what Bhadrapad is saying here, right? So,
Okay. ராஜேஷ் ஜி, நான் ஒன் மோர் திங் நோட்டீஸ் பண்ணேன், எனக்கு கரெக்டான்னு தெரியல. இதுக்கு முந்தின ஸ்லோகத்துல அபலாம் அக்னி சுத்தாம்னு வருது. அந்த அபலைங்கிறது தமிழ் வார்த்தையில அபலைன்னா ஐயோ பாவுன்னு ஒரு அர்த்தம் இருக்கு. அந்த அர்த்தத்துல தான் வருதா?
ஆமா, abala, the one who's like helpless.
Okay. प्रीतो दिव्याभिषेकैः अयुतसमधिकान् वत्सरान् पर्यरंसीः मैथिल्यां पापवाचा शिव शिव किल तां गर्भिणीमभ्यहासीः प्रीतो दिव्याभिषेकैः अयुतसमधिकान् वत्सरान् पर्यरंसीः मैथिल्यां पापवाचा शिव शिव किल तां गर्भिणीमभ्यहासीः
Shailaja, mute look. Shailaja,
no, I just chanted.
Oh, okay. That's fine. Oh, I heard refer to Shailaja. Okay, that's fine. So Lakshmi, come actually tell her. I lost track.
No, I already did. Can I?
No, yeah, she did. That is when I interrupted. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. No, I was. That's fine. Keep going. Shatrughne nardayitva lavana nishicharam, comma. प्रार्दयः पुट इश प्रार्दय शूद्रपाशम, comma. तावत् वाल्मीकि गेहे, comma. Krita vasati rupasuta. If you want to break it, it is krita vasatir upasuta, but you can say the whole word continuously. Krita vasati rupasuta sita sutau te. Shatrughne lavana nishicharam प्रार्दय शूद्रपाशं तावत् वाल्मीकि गेहे कृतवसति रूपासूत सीता सुतौ ते
शत्रुघ्नेनार्दयित्वा लवननिशिचरं प्रार्थय शूद्रपाशं तावद् वाल्मीकिगेहे कृतवसतिरूपा सूतसीता सुतौ ते शत्रुघ्नेनार्दयित्वा लवननिशिचरं प्रार्थय शूद्रपाशं तावद् वाल्मीकिगेहे कृतवसतिरूपा सूतसीता सुतौ ते
शत्रुघ्ने नार्धयित्वा लवणनिशिचरं प्रार्थय शूद्रपाशं तावद्वाल्मीकिगेहे कृतवसतिरुपासूतसीता सुतौ ते शत्रुघ्ने नार्धयित्वा लवणनिशिचरं प्रार्थय शूद्रपाशं तावद्वाल्मीकिगेहे कृतवसतिरुपासूतसीता सुतौ ते.
That's right. वाल्मीकिस्त्वत्सुतोद्गापितमधुरकृतेराज्ञया यज्ञवाटे सीतां त्वय्याप्तु कामे क्षितिमविशदसौ त्वं च कालार्तितो भूः हेतो सौमित्रिघाती स्वयमतसरयूमग्ननिःशेषभृत्यैः साकं नाकं प्रयातो निजपदमगमो देववैकुण्ठमाद्यम्. Then the Ashwamedha Yajna happens, right, where the two boys, Lava and Kusha, come, and then they say the story of Ramayana, and that's when Rama comes to know, okay, these are my children. So then he goes looking after Sita, and then eventually, Sita then it disappears into earth, right? Like we had seen before, she came out of that and she disappeared back into it. And then the time now has come for Rama to go back to Vaikuntham. But before Rama has to go to Vaikuntham, he has to tell Hanuman, he has to send Hanuman away. So otherwise, Hanuman will not let Rama go. So there's a long story about how he sends Hanuman away. And Lakshmana also has to depart first. Balarama, he comes, So anyway, so Lakshmana also departs. Very similar to what's going to happen in Krishna Avataram as Balarama. So Lakshmana also goes. Eventually, you, O Rama, then get into the river Sarayu with whoever wants to join. So towards the end in Rama Avataram is where there was an option given to people saying, whoever wants to come with me can come with me right now. And not everybody did, but some of them did. And whoever got into the Sarayu river eventually went to Nija Padamagamo, to Vaikuntham. They also got liberated and went back to Vaikuntham. Valmikes Tuat Sutodgapita Madhura Kriter Agneya, or Kriter Agneya is one word, Yajna Vate. So the entire line is together, comma at the very end. Sitam Tvayaptu Kame, comma. क्षितिम अविशदसौ, त्वं च कालार्तितो भूः वाल्मीकिस्त्वत्सुतोद्गापितमधुरकृतेराज्ञया यज्ञवाटे सीतां त्वय्याप्तु कामे क्षितिमविशदसौ त्वं च कालार्थितो भूः
वाल्मीकिस्त्वत्सुतोद्गापितमधुरकृतेराज्ञाय यज्ञवाटे sorry for that सीतां त्वय्यप्तु कामे क्षितिमविशदसौ त्वं च कालार्तितो भूः वाल्मीकिस्त्वत्सुतोद्गापितमधुरकृतेराज्ञाय यज्ञवाटे सीतां त्वय्याप्तु कामे क्षितिमविशदसौ त्वं च कालार्तितो भूः
वाल्मीकिस्त्वत्सुतोद्गापितमधुरकृतेराज्ञया यज्ञवाटे सीतां त्वय्याप्तु कामे क्षितिमविशदसौ त्वं च कालार्थितो भूः वाल्मीकिस्त्वत्सुतोद्गापितमधुरकृतेराज्ञया यज्ञवाटे सीतां त्वय्याप्तु कामे क्षितिमविशदसौ त्वं च कालार्थितो भूः
हेतोः put is hetos saumitri ghati, swayamata sarayu magna nishesha bhrityaihi, put is bhrityais sakam. So join with the next line sakam, So first line saumitri ghati, then the whole line continues after sakam, nakam prayato, Nija Padamagamo Deva Vaikunthamadyam. Heto Saumitri Ghati Swayamata Sarayu Magna Nishesha Bhrityai Sakam Nakam Prayato Nija Padamagamo Deva Vaikunthamadyam.
हेतो सौमित्रिघाती स्वयमतसरयूमग्ननिःशेषभृत्यैः साकं नाकं प्रयातो निजपदमगमो देववैकुण्ठमाध्यम् हेतोः सौमित्रिघाती स्वयमतसरयूमग्ननिःशेषभृत्यैः साकं नाकं प्रयातो निजपदमगमो देववैकुण्ठमाद्यम्
हेतो सौमित्रिघाती स्वयमथ सरयूमग्ननिःशेषभृत्यैः साकं नाकं प्रयातो निजपदमगमो देववैकुण्ठमाद्यम् हेतो सौमित्रिघाती स्वयमथ सरयूमग्ननिःशेषभृत्यैः साकं नाकं प्रयातो निजपदमगमो देववैकुण्ठमाद्यम्
That's okay.
So Rajeshi, and I was asking you about the Shiva Shiva, why he said Shiva Shiva. So is it because he's going to worship Shiva and Rameshwaram?
Because that was over a long time back, right? This here Shiva Shiva literally means like it's also power, like on the context, like that's how it is. So it's a pity, because that's why later on she says Kilatam Garbhinim Abhyahasihi. So she was Garbhavati and then she was abandoned. What a pity. Unfortunate. On the context of the Shiva Shiva was used here. Stanza 10. Sohyam martyavataraha tava khalu niyatam martya shikshartamevam vishleshartirniragastyajanamapi bhavet kamadharmati saktya no chet swatmanubhutehe क्वनु तव मनसो विक्रिया चक्रपाणे सत्वं सत्वैकमूर्ते पवनपुरपते व्याधुनो व्याधितापान्. So, Bhattacharya just summarizes this, right? Like if you remember Narasimha Avataram, he says, you showed that anger. You are really full of sattva guna. So you cannot be an angry person. You just exhibited that signs of anger to scare, Hiranyakashipu and everybody else. So even here he says, the lesson to be learned here is saying, when you have too much attachment towards something, that actually causes a lot of unhappiness, because the too much attachment results in separation eventually, and that separation causes a lot of unhappiness. That was one lesson. And the second thing he says is strong adherence to dharma, why it is important, even though it might cause pain to everybody. So that was the second lesson. But he says at the end of the day, you are sattvam sattvaika murte. At the end of the day, you are pure sattva guna. You just took this incarnation and did certain things as Rama to teach humanity certain things, right? That was the purpose of it. Doesn't mean Rama did this, all this comparison, because it's Bhagavan takes incarnations to do certain things. So that's why he just wraps it up that way. Oh Guru Ayappa, please eradicate all my ailments. So Tava Khalu Niyartam Martya Shikshartam. Sorry, I think went away.
Rajesh, sorry, you got cut off in the beginning.
Yeah. I think I accidentally clicked the button. Yeah. Okay. Soyam Marthyavatharaha, comma, remove that is and put a visarga, comma. Tava Khalu Niyatam Martya Shikshartam Evam, comma. Vishleshartir Niragas Tyajanamapi Bhavet, comma. Kama Dharmati Saktya. Sohyam Martyavatarah Tava Khalu Niyatam Martya Shikshartamevam Vishleshartirniragastyajanamapi Bhavet Kama Dharmati Saktya.
सोऽयं मर्त्यावतारः तव खलु नियतं मर्त्यशिक्षार्थमेवं विश्लेषार्तिर्निरागस्त्य जनमपि भवेत् कामधर्मातिसक्त्या सोऽयं मर्त्यावतारः तव खलु नियतं मर्त्यशिक्षार्थमेवं विश्लेषार्तिर्निरागस्त्य जनमपि भवेत् कामधर्मातिसक्त्या
सोऽयं मर्त्यावतारः तव खलु नियतं मर्त्यशिक्षार्थमेवं विश्लेषार्तिर्निरागस्त्य जनमपि भवेत् कामधर्मातिसक्त्या सोऽयं मर्त्यावतारः तव खलु नियतं मर्त्यशिक्षार्थमेवं विश्लेषार्थिर्निरागस्त्यजनमपि भवेत् कामधर्मातिशक्त्या
नो चेत् स्वात्मानुभूतेः क्वनु तव मनसो विक्रिया चक्रपाणे स त्वं सत्वैकमूर्ते पवनपुरपते व्याधुनु व्याधितापान्. नो चेत् स्वात्मानुभूतेः क्वनु तव मनसो विक्रिया चक्रपाणे स त्वं सत्वैकमूर्ते पवनपुरपते व्याधुनु व्याधितापान्.
नो चेत् स्वात्मानुभूतेः क्वनु तव मनसो विक्रिया चक्रपाणे सत्वं सत्वैकमूर्ते पवनपुरपथे व्याधुनु व्याधितापान्. नो चेत् स्वात्मानुभूते क्वनु तव मनसो विक्रिया चक्रपाणे सत्वं सत्वैकमूर्ते पवनपुरपते व्याधुनु व्याधितापान्.
Lakshmiji, that the third line, Swatmanubhutehe, there is a visarga there, okay?
One second. No chet swatmanubhutehe.
Yeah.
ராஜேஷி ஏன் இதுல சத்துவம் சத்துவேக மூர்த்தே 3 வாட்டி சொல்றது இல்லை?
Yeah, I mean, we can if you want, but generally, yeah. Other than the
பிரகலாதருக்கு சொல்றோம், ஸ்ரீகிருஷ்ணனுக்கு சொல்றோம், ராமருக்கு
Krishna, we only say it at the end of the 88th Dasakam.
69th சொல்றோம் இல்லையா?
69, 60, அது டியூனுக்காக அது கரெக்ட். But the main thing 88, yeah, I mean, there's no reason why you cannot. But yeah, you know, like when I learned it, my guru didn't tell me to say it 3 times.
எங்கேயுமே போடல, அதனால தான்
ஆமா. இல்ல, but no reason why
I
you
always feel like telling 3 times when I
absolutely you can totally say this, because the last line is pretty much very similar to Prahlada Priya He Marut Purapade Sarva Mayat Pahimam, similar thing only. So
அதுவும் ராமருக்கு, so
absolutely no reason why not, totally.
नो चेत् स्वात्मानुभूतेः क्वनु तव मनसो विक्रिया चक्रपाणे सत्वं सत्वैकमूर्ते पवनपुरपते व्याधिनु व्याधितापान्. नो चेत्
Go ahead, sir.
नो चेत् स्वात्मानुभूतेः क्वनु तव मनसो विक्रिया चक्रपाणे सत्वं सत्वैकमूर्ते पवनपुरपते व्याधिनु व्याधितापान्.
Krishna Brahmane Namaha. Yeah, go ahead.
Line can be said 3 times.
The last line.
Vyadhunu vyadhita.
Tattvam Sattvaikamurte. And the last line. 4th line. Sattvam Sattvaikamurte Pavanapate Vyadhunu Vyaditapan.
Thanks, Ji.
So Dashakam 36. So this is a little bit of a tough Dashakam as well, and lot of content into it, story-wise. So it's a Parashurama Avatara Varnanam. Now we all put Parashurama ahead of the Rama Avataram. The only reason that is coming a little bit later is in Bhagavatam, when they're explaining it, they were first explaining the Ikshvaku dynasty completely, where Rama Avataram was coming in. And then the Bhrigu dynasty was explained later. So in that sequence, in the explanation of that sequence, this was coming later. That's why even Bhattatripada is literally following the same sequence as Bhagavatam. That's why he's putting Parashurama Avataram after Rama Avataram in the sequence. But in reality, Parashurama Avataram happened slightly before Rama Avataram, because both of those Avatarams intersect anyways. Okay, so that's the just story. There's no confusion about it. Stanza 1. Atreh putrataya purha tvamanasuyayam hi datta bidho jata shishya nibandhatandritamanaha swastascharan kantaya drushto bhaktatamena hehayamahi palena tasmai varan ashtaishwarya mukan pradaya dhaditasvenaiva chante madham. Just so many stories embedded here. So first, you know, we saw the Kapila avatar, right? Kardama and Devahuti married. They got Kapila. The Lord was born as Kapila to teach Devahuti Sankhya philosophy. So Kapila's sister, one of the daughters of Kardama and Devahuti, was Anasuya. So Anasuya marries sage Atri. So, then, they do penance, and then the Lord is born to them as Dattatreya. So that is, Dattatreya is also an incarnation of the Lord, one of the incarnations. So the Lord then comes as Dattatreya, because Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, they all appear in front of Anasuya and Atri. There's a whole story there. But anyway, you are born as Dattatreya. Now, that has happened in the past. So that is what Bhaktipad is first starting off saying, that Dattatreya was born long time back. And that Dattatreya, he was just out there teaching everything, and that was a separate story. So then he comes to kind of the little bit of a current thing there, where they're saying in this kingdom of Mahishmati, not the Bahubali Mahishmati, but the same name. In the Mahishmati, there was a king called Kritavirya. That King Kritavirya and his wife, they did not have any children. So this, what his wife, Padmini, her name is, so she goes and prays to Anasuya, that same Anasuya, and says, you know what, you got Dattatreya as your child, right? So similarly, I'm also praying to you, so you can give me a similarly powerful child. So she prays to Anasuya, and then Anasuya then teaches her, or she gets message from Anasuya of what to kind of the procedure to follow, so she can also get a child like that. So eventually, when the boon, when they're about, and she prays, and then Dattatreya appears in front of them, Kritavirya and Padmini, and says, what kind of a child you want? So all these parents always want their child to be never dying. They always ask, I want my child to be the most powerful one. He should not die. All of this is okay. That is not possible. But we'll give you a very powerful son. And the only person who can defeat that son is an incarnation of the Lord itself, because that person can be that powerful, right? So then the Kritavirya is born a child called as Kartavirya. It's like Vasudeva, Vasudeva, the same logic. Kartavirya Arjuna means a very strong child is born called Kartavirya Arjuna. That Kartavirya Arjuna, he prays to Dattatreya, etc. He gets the Ashta Siddhi. Like Hanuman has, he has the Ashta Siddhi, so it's extremely powerful, right? So that Kartavirya Arjuna is actually born. And then eventually he said that your death is going to come from an incarnation of the Lord. Whoever that is, that's what Dattatreya says. Anyway, all of that is bundled here. So now we have this person called as Kartavirya Arjuna. That's the takeaway from this stanza.
Rajesh, I have a question. I have heard about Kartavirya Arjuna. Somebody had told me about this mantra about Kartavirya Arjuna, where if you lose something and if you do that mantra, it can be found.
Oh, about Kartavirya Arjuna?
Yeah.
I don't know why finding something will be related to Kartavirya Arjuna, but he's very powerful. And we'll see later how he's more powerful than Ravana himself, right? But I don't know about the context of searching for something because of that. So I don't know about that. But he is very powerful. He has Ashta Siddhi and all that. And, he's supposed to have like 1,000 arms, which can regenerate as needed. And so
whether he's the person who stopped Ganges or something.
It will come later, yeah. Narmada, yeah.
Narmada, okay.
Atrehe, put F. Atre putrataya pura, comma. Tvam anasuyayam hi datta bidho, comma. Jatah, put ish. Jatash shishya nibandha tandrita manaha, comma. Swastash charan kantaya. Atreh putrataya pura. Tvamanasuyayam hi dattabhidho jatash shishya nibandha tandrita manaha swastascharan kantaya. Just say one time.
Atresh putrataya pura tvamanasuyayam hidattabhido jatash shishya nibandha tandrita manaha swastascharan kantaya.
Atre putrataya pura tvam anasuyayam hi dattabhido jatasya nibandha tandrita manaha swastascharan kantaya.
Rajeshi, Atref, F dane?
Ama, F.
Oh.
Atref. Drishto bhaktatamena hehaya mahipalena, comma. Tasmai varan, put a in at the end of that line. Tasmai varan, comma. Next line, Nashtaishwarya. If you have it, the na will go away. It becomes Ashtaishwarya Mukhan Pradaya, comma, Daditha Swenaiva Chante Vadham. दृष्टो भक्ततमेन हेहयमहीपालेन तस्मै वरान् अष्टैश्वर्यमुखान् प्रदाय ददितस्वेनैव चान्ते वधम्.
दृष्टो भक्ततमेन हेहयमहीपालेन तस्मै वरान् अष्टैश्वर्यमुखान् प्रदाय ददितस्वेनैव चान्ते वधम्.
Rajesh, a question. Is it the third line? Drushto bhakta tameva. Is it hai haya or he haya?
He haya.
He.
Tatamena.
My book has hai.
He haya is the name of the kingdom. That's a Mahishmati, like I said, right? The king of He haya. Mahishmati was the capital.
Sure. Drushto bhakta tameva he haya mahipalena tasmai varan अष्टैश्वर्य मुखान् प्रदाय दधिथ स्वेनैन चान्ते वधम्.
सत्यं कर्तुमतार्जुनस्य च वरं तच्छक्तिमात्रा नतं ब्रह्मद्वेषि तथाखिलं नृपकुलं हन्तुं च भूमेर्भरं सञ्जातो जमदग्नितो भृगुकुले त्वं रेणुकायां हरे रामो नाम तदात्मजेष्वरजः पित्रोरधाः सम्मधम्. So the Kartavirya Arjuna eventually has to be gotten rid of, right? So because nobody else is going to be able to get rid of him. So an incarnation of the Lord has to come. So that is one reason. And the second is, at that time, what happened is the rule of the Kshatriyas had gone so bad that they were committing a lot of atrocities all over the world. So to completely put an end to that, so for both of these reasons, so to get Hantumcha Bhumer Baram, to get rid of all the evil Kshatriyas, the rulers, and to eventually get rid of Kartavirya Arjuna, the incarnation of Parashurama is going to happen, right? So this Parashurama is actually born to, a combination of Jamadagni and Renuka. Jamadagni is his father, Renuka is his mother. Now there's an interesting story which I'll just stay for a couple of minutes. So this, what happens is, Richika, who is actually one of Jamadagni's father, he was a big sage. So he had a wife who wanted a child. And so what he does is he goes and actually does some prayers, etc. And then his mother-in-law also wants another child at the same time. So he and his mother-in-law, his wife, this Richika, who's Jamadagni's father, Richika is a Brahmana. He married a Kshatriya wife. So his wife's side, everybody are kings, but he's a Brahmana. So his mother-in-law also wants a child, another child, and he also wants another child with this. He wants a child with his wife. So he does this home prayers and he gets 2 prasadams. So he gives one to his wife and he gives one to his mother-in-law and say, each of you eat this, right? Because for him, he wants a Brahmana child to be born. His mother-in-law needs to get a Kshatriya child. But his mother-in-law is like, saying, oh, you know what, my son-in-law is probably giving some special treatment to her daughter because he's his wife. So she says, let's swap the fruits or whatever the prasadam, let's swap it. So they end up swapping it. And this person comes to know about it. He says, you guys made a big mistake. He says, because whatever I had given my wife, that child is going to be a great Brahmana. And what I have given to your mother-in-law, that child is going to be a great Kshatriya. So now you guys have swapped it, right? So what to do? So, then they all realize this thing and say what is going to happen. And so anyway, so later on, he then comes out with, they have another workaround and all of that stuff. Eventually what happens is, his mother-in-law gets a Brahmana, right? Who later on becomes Vishwamitra. So that Vishwamitra is born in a Kshatriya family of that thing, but he becomes a great Brahma Rishi, right? Because of this. And this Jamadagni, who's actually born, to him, later on becomes a little bit like, although he's born in the Brahmanical family, he becomes a little bit like Kshatriya himself. There's a different story that goes. Anyway, that swap happens, but that is how Jamadagni is born, which is Parashurama's father. But anyway, to Jamadagni and Renuka, you are born as Rama, right? And we'll see how the name Parashurama comes later. But right now, you're born as Rama, and then that makes your parents very happy.
One question. What's that? Vishwamitra's the father, Ruchita and other.
No, Richika is the name of Jamadagni's father.
Oh, Ruchika is a male name. Okay, sorry. Yeah.
It's a male name. Satyavati or something was the wife's name. So Richika is like, think of Jamadagni, Parashurama's father Jamadagni, Jamadagni's father Richika.
Jamadagni's father, Ruchika.
And then the Richika's wife's mother, to her Vishwamitra is born. So kind of like long, tree there, but.
So what?
I thought mother-in-law was giving a problem, but actually mother is giving a problem.
I know, like, and this similar thing happens, in a couple of places, right? Where, the mother and the mother-in-law end up swapping whatever is coming, but.
Vishwamitra will be Richika's son, right?
That means Vishwamitra is a Richika.
Because Richika's wife's mother.
Richika's wife, mother,
So it will be like Richika's wife, mother is Vishwamitra.
Okay. Apra Richika's son aaragum?
Vishwamitra.
Jamadagni.
Appa Jamadagni is a Kshatriya.
Yeah, he's born in the clan. So there's a skip that happens there, because that Richika's wife will say, I don't want my son to be a Kshatriya, right? So he'll say, okay, Jamadagni won't be a Kshatriya, he'll be a Brahmana, but the son who's born to him, although he's a Brahmana, will not have the characteristics of a Brahmana. That's why when Rama is born, always born in the lineage of the Brahmanas. Brahmanas don't go around killing people in general.
Right.
Parashurama is going to end up doing it because he has the Kshatriya nature in him because of this, because that's the exception. Richika's wife will tell him, I made a mistake, but I don't want my son to be a Kshatriya, right? So he says, okay, your son will be a Brahmana, but then his son, that has to continue. His son is, while he's born as a Brahmana, he's going to have the qualities of a Kshatriya. That's why Parashurama, when he's born in the Brahmanical family and lineage, but he's going to behave like a Kshatriya, which means going around getting rid of people.
The Richika's wife or parent?
Satyavati.
Oh, okay. Satyavati is Jamadagni's mother, and Jamadagni's wife is Renuka.
And their child is Rama. Okay, we'll quickly finish this stanza today. Satyam kartumatarjunasya cha varam, tachakti matranatam, brahmadveshi tadhakilam nripakulam, hantum cha bhumer bharam. Satyam kartumatarjunasya cha varam, tachakti matranatam, brahmadveshi tadhakilam nripakulam, hantum cha bhumer bharam.
Satyam kartumatarjunasya cha varam tvachakti matranatam brahmadveshitadakilam nrupakulam hantum cha bhumer bharam.
Satyam kartumatharjunasya cha naram cha varam tachakti matranatam brahmadveshitadakilam nrupakulam hantum cha bhumer bharam.
Sanjato Jamadagnito Bhrigukule, Tvam Renukayam Hare, Ramo Nama Tadatma Jeshwa Varajaha, continues Tadatma Jeshwa Varajaha, Pitroradhaha, put is Pitroradhas Sammadam. Sanjato Jamadagnito Bhrigukule, Tvam Renukayam Hare, Ramo Nama Tadatmajeshwa Varajaha, Pitroradhas Sammadam.
Sanjato Jamadagnito Bhrigukule Tvam Renukayam Hare, Ramo Nama Tadatmajeshwa Varajaha, Pitroradhas Sammadam.
Sanjato Jamadagnito Bhrigukule Tvam Renukayam Hare, Ramo Nama Tadatmajeshwa Varajaha, Pitroradhas Sammadam.
Krishnaya Parabrahmane Namaha. Okay, end the class here today. Sandhanandhava bhodhatmakamanupamitam कालदेशावलिभ्यां निर्मुक्तं नित्यमुक्तं निगमशतसहस्रेण निर्भास्यमानम् अस्पष्टं दृष्टमात्रे पुनरुरुपुरुषार्थात्मकं ब्रह्मतत्त्वं तत्तावद्भाति साक्षात् गुरुपवनपुरे हन्त भाग्यं जनानां कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि.
Thank you, Rajesh.
Rajesh.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rajesh ji.
Thank you.
Thank you, Swami Sharma.